At Homestead Community Land Trust, we believe homeownership should be a choice, not an exclusive dream. Homestead was founded by a diverse group of community activists in 1992, but it took a decade of foundational work to bring our first home into trust.
When you have a landlord, your contract is up, that price can go anywhere, and that doesn't mean you can afford it. This house was built in 1924. This house has not always been here. This house used to be where the library is now. They had to clear the whole street to move the house up the street. They had these giant ramps and pulled the house up the hill onto the foundation. I'm Tina Lathrop, and I am Homestead's first homeowner.
Since Tina bought the first Homestead home, we have brought 245 homes into trust. Homes that create first-time home buying opportunities for people like Siobhan.
I'm a single mom. I have 5 kids who grew up in this neighborhood, but because it became so affordable, we had to move out to Maple Valley, deep parts of Maple Valley. But I wanted to keep my kids still in school here. So they went to Garfield, they went to Washington Middle School, and so during that commute, it took them like 2 hours to get to school every day, which was hard, but I wanted to keep them here. I wanted to keep them with their friends where, the people that they grew up with, the kids they grew up with, and so we made it happen. 5 of us were in a small little 2-bedroom apartment in Maple Valley, and it was hard for us because we love each other, don't get me wrong. But did we want to be on top of each other every day? No. So when the opportunity came about for me to be able to purchase a home through Homestead, that was like a dream come true. That was something that I never thought would be even attainable or possible, and Homestead did that for me.
These 245 homes have given 300 qualified households an affordable home and the opportunity to build assets through homeownership. This year, we've completed the Village Gardens townhomes in the Central District, bringing home buying opportunities back to a community devastated by gentrification.
The Community Land Trust model is a social innovation that comes down to us from civil rights era leaders in the Deep South, who in the 1960s were creating economic opportunity for lower income people. They were solving for 2 things. 1, preventing displacement, and 2, creating home ownership opportunities. Their model was based on the security of community ownership of land. That, combined with individual ownership of homes, made it possible for lower income people to become homeowners. Homestead uses the essence of that very same model to prevent displacement and create home buying opportunities right here in our communities. Here's how it works. Homestead builds homes like these homes at Village Gardens with a one-time investment that sets the initial price of the homes far below market rates. We sell the homes to income-qualified buyers who get their mortgage from a local bank. Homestead keeps the land, and the land is stewarded in trust by the community for future generations. A 99-year renewable ground lease between Homestead and the homeowner includes a resale formula. That resale formula allows the homeowner to build wealth throughout the time they own the home, but it also allows them to pay forward an affordable price to the next income qualified buyer when they choose to sell. This model makes it possible for people whose only other alternative is renting to own their own healthy, safe, and affordable home and to build wealth. It's a very efficient use of affordable housing investments, and it gives affordability a permanent address in rapidly gentrifying neighborhoods.
Today, we are showing what it looks like to not only create homes for folks to live in, but economic opportunities for generations to come. The ability to have home ownership in this city is one of the only ways that we can continue to combat the racist redlining history that is still plaguing cities like Seattle across this country. Home ownership is the antidote to not only redlining, but the racist bank lending strategies, the restrictive zoning covenants that are in this city, and the inability for folks to get out of generational poverty.
As we build homes, we are giving voice to communities over what gets built, how homes are built, and by whom they are built.
I want to extend our appreciation for you really being responsive to the messages that came from our community around restoration and the need to be action-oriented about what is built, who is built for, and who is built with. You know, it's a strong principle within our work that nothing about us without us, and that we don't want to build for, but we want to build with our community. So this is a project that I think represents a light on the path. It represents that another future is possible.
We support communities at risk of displacement by being more than allies. We seek to be accomplices that enable community-driven projects to succeed.
Sorry, I don't want your allyship. I need you to be an accomplice. And so what they mean by that is they don't want someone to sit by them and say, oh, you know, that was terrible. I stayed with you. That is wrong. They're like, you can keep that. I'm still catching a bullet for that. What I need for you to say is, I'm not only standing with you, I'm gonna leverage my positionality, I'm gonna leverage my influence, I'm gonna walk into spaces that you don't get to walk into and breathe life that comes from you into those spaces and tell your story when no one's wanting to hear it. And sometimes I may have to take a gut check for that, and I may not get funded for that. But I'm going to do it because as an accomplice to your work, that's how I walk in space with you. And that's what's happened with Homestead all this time.
We are combining housing equity with climate equity through deep investments in the environmental sustainability of our homes.
We are truly breaking the mold, doing something innovative, energy efficient, and affordable in Tukwila. But let me just help you with the definition of climate equity and tell me, does this not represent the community that we're in? It ensures that all people have the access and opportunity to benefit from climate solutions while not bearing an unequal burden of the impacts of climate change. It means those who contributed most to the pollution bear the greatest responsibility to respond. And frontline communities like Tukwila that have often experienced the earliest and the most acute impacts of climate change, that face historic and current inequities, and have a limited resource and/or capacity to adapt, are provided the greatest access to the opportunities and benefits solutions provide.
Our communities desperately need family-sized affordable housing for people who are cost-burdened by their housing.
We create affordable homeownership not because it's easy, but because we are called to address past harms, called to correct present inequities, and called by our view of a sustainable, affordable, and inclusive future for all.
But I'm super grateful for Homestead for providing us this opportunity to live here, but also to be part of this community and this organization that is providing or helping people get homes. And I want that to be the case for us, that we would be able to pass this on to somebody else who needs it. Having a home here does give me a sense of, well, this is my place too. And, the Latinos deserve to be here too. And I think that's the feeling that Homestead has been able to give us too, that we belong to this community no matter what.
We have 300 homes to build over the next 5 years. That will more than double the homes that we have in trust and double the impact of our alternate economy for housing. Supporters like you recognize the change is needed. The timing is right to take this moment to a movement. Together, we can build an affordable, sustainable, and inclusive future for all. Please give generously. Thank you.